All right, what is going on here? We're going to be talking about the journey of an artist. What you're seeing on the screen is someone asked to see the kind of the video of the painting of the links that I did. So that's that. If you're watching the video, it's actually I'm using the pen tool to kind of select out a silhouette of the characters so that I can have them on a separate layer so it's easier to paint. Now, those were pencil sketches and I scanned them in, and I kind of made new layers on top of each one, and I'm painting them both at the same time because I couldn't really decide which one to pick. I ended up going with the one on the left, but I mean, in retrospect, I do kind of prefer the one on the right. But yeah, so that's gonna be playing in the background while I discuss what's going on in my brain. The journey of an artist. So I watched a video today by Ryan Kingsline. He's an artist, and he has a bunch of videos, and he talks about art and the journey and design, and he's good. He does ZBrush. He teaches on his website, and I'll put that all in the description. But the topic was, finding your passion as an artist, and this is like when he said that, I'm like, help me, what's your secret? Because if you've been following my videos, you know that I've been struggling here and there, figuring out what I want to do, and sound like a broken record, kind of repeating it, but we're all going through a struggle. We're all human. Anyway, so the takeaway I got from his video, and there's other videos too, kind of adding together, is that we often, as artists, we develop a prison for ourselves, and like a prison that's like based on your own limitations that you think you have in your head, and you sort of develop stories about why you're not, doing what you should be doing, or for example, if you want to do a specific type of art, you give yourself a bunch of reasons why you should be doing something else, or you're supposed to do this before that because of something you've heard or whatever. And what he talks about is being able to free yourself from that, and if you can find a way to enjoy it so that it becomes what you actually want to do. So asking the question, what do you want to create? It's a profound question, and for me, I didn't even know what the answer was. And he mentioned in the video that listing off a long laundry list of things that you think you're supposed to be doing is not the same thing as what you want to do. Because in that prison, you have these expectations, disbeliefs, doubts. It's a place where you keep looking for reasons to discredit your own art. At least for me, that's what it's like. And so once you establish this as something to think about, it's a stepping stone, because you can sort of see a way to free yourself from that kind of prison. And it's all in your head, obviously. Like, that's as humans, we're so delusional. We're desperately making up all these reasons to limit ourselves. But for me, I realized that, at least I think, I want to tell stories, through beautiful artwork, and I haven't really done any of that. I mean, my prison is as follows. All right, it's a place where I'm supposed to prove myself to the world, or to prove myself as somebody competent, and it's like a strange trait that I inherited, and I don't know why it's there. I don't know if it's in my genetics, but like needing to prove myself, whether it's to teachers, the industry, colleagues, or students that I went to school with. And it's not that I think I'm not good enough. It's more like I have this treadmill. It's a perpetuating, ongoing need to show that I can do something, and it's so limiting. But what is the art outside of that? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this, that's a great question to ask yourself. Like, how does this apply to you? And the key is to really ask yourself, what do you want to make, outside of the negative thoughts? And what I really like about Ryan Kingsline and his videos is this kind of flow of positivity. He's encouraging artists to look at your own work from a point of view of loving your work, you know, and it makes so much sense after he said it. It's like, of course, if you don't love what you're doing, you know, what's the point? You know, if the art that you're doing is for, like my case, to prove myself that I can do something, which is silly, you know, I guess that there is a place and time for that. Like if I'm trying to apply for a specific position, I should have a portfolio to prove that I can do that. But in terms of when it comes to personal art, for a long time, it was like driven by this need to, you know, stake a claim that, you know, I can do it. It's human nature. It's the human condition. It's what it is, you know. And I've certainly been hating a lot of my work for a long time, mostly because it wasn't work for myself. Instead, it was, you know, the other way around. So yeah, we all go through these struggles. And okay, so let's say you want to create, I don't know, video game characters. You know, that's awesome. Cool. That's a great start. If you've been able to figure out that's what you want to do, and that doesn't mean you can't do anything else. It's just like, what is it that makes you enjoy the process of creation? And if it's video game characters or environments or props or illustrations or fan art, whatever it is, like, allow yourself to really dig and figure that part out. That's probably what I'm going to do later tonight, to dig deep and see what it is that I really want to do. And so once you figure that out, you know, you might feel that you don't have the technical skills to do what you might think is, I don't know, good or worthy for whatever it is that might be so for video games, for characters, whatever. I highly recommend spending time focusing on the parts that you feel are lacking. So if it's anatomy, gesture, faces, whatever. And if you can't tell, ask a friend or post your work on forums and get feedback. But what I want to get to is, once you've got just enough technical skills to communicate your design, that means you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, you know, front page ArtStation, front page DeviantArt. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Because the important part is having just enough to be able to step away from the internet and don't look at other people's work, and allow yourself to just enjoy the creation process. And you enjoy this process with what you know. With what you know how to do, and you don't want to, because if you go and start doing that, you might think, have negative thoughts of, well, I know how to do some, but I'm not the best, and I'm going to keep beating myself up because I don't know how to do everything. But that's obviously a negative thought. And actually, another thing I've been doing this week, and it's that as I'm doing a drawing or a painting or something, actually, with anything in life, really, there's this kind of subconscious autopilot thought barrage coming at you from your brain. And it's sometimes it's good thoughts, like, okay, good, this is working. But oftentimes it's negative thoughts, negative ideas of, oh, this isn't cool, or, oh, somebody already did this. That's a big one for me. Like, I am terrified to do something that someone else has already done. I don't know, it's such a strange fear, but and I think it's because a long time ago, when I was a kid, I copied something out of a magazine. I think my dad was like, yeah, but you just copied it. And ever since then, I've been afraid of being labeled as unoriginal or something. I guess that's something I still have to get over. But yeah, so where was I? Man, I'm just watching the drawing happen. I may or may not do a voiceover tutorial for this, depending on the demand. I don't know. I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. You know, using paintbrushes, airbrush here and there, all on a few layers. Anyway, where was I going with that? So yeah, for me, I would love to just figure out a way to just enjoy whatever it is that I do. And I actually have. I know I've done that. But those negative thoughts that come in, I have this new technique that I did recently this week. That's what I was talking about. Okay, so the technique. And it's that as I'm drawing, let's say in Photoshop, I actually have a new window open on the left, and I literally wrote, "This is the box for negative thoughts," right? And so whenever a thought comes up, I would actually write it down. I was okay, and the moment I write it down, it kind of dissipates and it's not in my brain anymore, because I have this vision that, or this kind of mental vision of what it looks like in my brain. It's like this thought, this negative thought, is spinning around. It's desperate to get out. It just wants to. It wants to have some kind of impact. And if you just imagine it on a hamster wheel, and the hamster is just desperate to get off of the wheel. That's what these negative thoughts are. And the moment you write it down, and like I had this long list of things, and I realized that by the time I got 4 or 5 negative thoughts on this new page or canvas or whatever, that the remaining negative thoughts, I didn't even have to write it down. Automatically, my brain was like doing it for me, right? So it just kind of realizes that it's not something that is real, Anyway, so that's a great tip that has been helping me. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out Ryan Kingsline's stuff. I always thought it was Kingsland, but whatever. Anyway, don't look at other people's work. That's an important one. I know that I'm a hypocrite because I still go online and look at people's work, but if you're doing a project, I think Ian McCaig was talking about this in an interview, and it's that he would do a project, a piece, an art piece or whatever, and he would start, and he would have all the books open, all of the great masters that he loved and studied, and he would just, reference them, he would look at them. And then he came to this one point where he had to draw grass. So he was flipping through all these books, just, Frazetta and all these. I actually don't remember what the exact artists were, but he was looking through them, just looking for an example of grass. Come on, Norman Rockwell, come on, anything. And then he didn't find anything. And he looked up right out the window. He just saw grass, and he's like, "Of course! Like, I don't need to keep referencing these artists. Like, there's a point where you yourself can break away from needing to, reference other people's work, and then you can sort of interpret things on your own. Because when you have just enough technical skill, you have your own thought processes. To have an effect on your work, right? And that doesn't even take that much confidence. It's just like daring to be risky and vulnerable. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave you off with this question. So how about it? What is it that you want to create? Not what you think you're supposed to be doing, but like what do you want to do? What do you enjoy? So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the second half of the link video for next time, and I hope you enjoyed it. And leave a comment if you have any questions. And sorry if I haven't gotten back to all your questions. I am swamped with a lot of things. And all right, yeah, over and out. Click. Anyway, this video is real time. I didn't realize I didn't speed it up. I was kind of talking over it. I know some people like that, so that's to you guys. Another thing.